Hello. Welcome everyone. Dear, your guardian angel and your spiritual protectors bring this message of learning with much love so that everyone can learn the importance of detachment in their life. Amidst all the obstacles that life on earth brings you, there is one in particular that is so commonplace in your lives that it often goes unnoticed, and this is responsible for most of the conflicts that disturb you, including your affective relationships, family and professionals. An obstacle little assumed by most of you. Attachment or clinging. Yes, attachment or clinging is a strong obstacle for anyone seeking a path of peace and spiritual balance. Attachment is nothing more than a feeling of ownership of everything and everyone around you, leaving you, many times, totally blind with passion, not only for the people you get involved with, but also for objects and material goods that you unconsciously end up using as trophies in your life. We know how difficult it is for some of you to hear about this very delicate subject in particular, but we need to be very frank at this moment, because our mission with you is to help you in your spiritual awakening, and bring the maximum information to make your transition as painless as possible. Therefore, if any of you do not feel comfortable explaining this matter, we suggest that you listen to this message at a more propitious time, as we will speak openly about the importance of detachment in your lives. It is impossible to talk about detachment without mentioning the factor ego, hence the delicate approach to this subject. Some individuals may feel offended and judged, and it is not our intention to do so, but we need to say this. The biggest factors of attachment in this world come from the often unconscious selfishness of some of you. The programming that has been inserted into your subconscious over the years causes certain attitudes and feelings of ownership to be treated as something natural, and which are actually diseases of the soul. And here we will show you, through some examples, how this can be harmful and sometimes destructive for many. The journey of attachment already begins with parents, who at various times in life overprotect their children, to the point of keeping them under their wings all the time, not giving enough freedom for this individual to one day be able to walk with their own legs around the world. Thus, molding a human being totally psychologically dependent on another person, not having the ability to manage his own life, and ends up unconsciously depositing his happiness in someone other than himself. A lot about her here. Depositing your happiness in someone. Consequently, this individual will one day also be able to marry and have children, and if he has not realized that he has been programmed in a distorted way, he will pass on the same programming, only there will be a crucial detail here. He has acquired many new neuroses caused by their insecurity, by having spent their entire childhood and youth being controlled and severely monitored by the will of their parents. And inevitably he ends up passing on more trauma to his children, and so on if this cycle is not stopped. In most of these cases, the individual ends up generating many distortions of values that, at a certain point in his life, cause a collapse in his personal, family and professional relationships, making him, out of fear or insecurity, have an unhealthy feeling of ownership for his children, spouse, friends, co-workers, and the material goods he has acquired over a lifetime of hard work. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve them, but that you need to know that none of this truly belongs to you, but rather, it was given by the universe in order to be part of your experience on earth. To begin with, each individual in the world is the owner of themselves and their desires. This goes for children, spouse, family and friends. Regardless of whether you are a man or a woman, a soul is born free and must leave free. The first lesson that a walker looking for the light must know is that the first exercise in detachment that we must do is with the people we love, all of them without distinction. There is an old phrase that the great masters of the past always quoted. Who loves freeze? That's why several relationships end very quickly, and some end up living a lifetime, frustrated and unhappy because of this feeling of possession. And their children once again end up just like their parents. See what a terrible vicious cycle this ends up becoming. These relationships that become toxic come from what we mentioned previously, and which we asked you to emphasize clearly. The individual ends up depositing his happiness in the other, and this happens due to the lack of self-knowledge. And consequently he forgets that his peace belongs only to him, his true happiness is within himself. Before you relate to anyone, you must first relate very well to yourself. Knowing your limitations and identifying your higher self so that it, the divine that dwells in you, can take the reins of your existence here on earth. Without this factor in their lives, most relationships will already be born collapsed. And both will do each other a lot of harm. Keep these sentences in mind. There is no letting go in this world if you depend on something or someone to be happy other than yourself. There will be no inner peace if you depend on something or someone for your happiness other than yourself. We cannot forget the attachment to material goods. This often destroys entire families, either because of inheritance disputes, or because control of the family's money remains in the hands of a single provider. And some of you end up valuing having much more than being. You need to know that, just like the beings who share your life with you, the money and the power that it supposedly brings do not belong to you, but are at your disposal for temporary enjoyment while you live your experience here on earth. And just like everything in the universe that was given to you, 1 hour it can be taken from you, as a result of the misuse of everything that was given to you in life. My dears, now it's time to make a big effort for a true movement to detachment. Many of you are already aware that you are just passing through this world of matter, and some are just discovering this. It makes no sense to remain attached to any of these situations mentioned here, if you are already in possession of this knowledge. As mentioned earlier, it's time to value being more than having. You are all made of love and light, totally free spirits, and here on earth you have a certain degree of free will. Use it wisely, and never try to control someone's life, or use money and material goods as a way of bargain for any selfish and petty move. For a seeker of the path of light, this is unacceptable. And soon there will be not very pleasant consequences caused by the law of return, which we have already mentioned in other messages here. Remember, everything you throw at the universe, it will give back to you double. Beloved, we advise everyone who has come this far to start a great daily exercise in detachment. We know it won't be easy, but angels and spiritual protectors will always be at your disposal. Seek the necessary clarification in your prayers and meditations, so that you can manage this very important movement in this moment of transition that everyone is going through with Mother Earth. Very soon we will deal with this topic in more depth with you. For now, that's all we can tell you. We sincerely thank everyone who has come this far. May the great Celestial Father be illuminating your paths today and always, and may His angels and protectors always be with you. A strong hug of light to all, and until the next heavenly message. Gratitude to those who visited our channel. If you liked this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell to receive notifications of new videos, leave a comment and share this light message with your friends.